from Nashville, Tennessee, inside the Noize podcast with your host, Jenna Hyden. Here's Jenna.
All right, welcome back. We're inside the Noize. We have Travis on a mic today, and we have a guest, Daniel Ethridge.
What's up?
We're excited.
It's going to be awesome. Rainy day in Nashville.
Yeah. Courtney's not here today, so there'll be more awkward pauses from me.
Yep.
I mean, I thrive in that.
Okay,
so.
good.
Just the silence. It's
well,
great.
We started off by making some noise for each other.
Okay.
This is a new test segment still. I'm not sure how it's being taken.
Okay.
It's only week 3 of it.
Okay.
But you say something good and we all clap for you.
Okay.
Do you want to start?
Sure. My buddies Jess Gromit, Will Stone, and I were all recording a full-length record together for me as a solo artist, so that's where we're at.
Woo!
That's awesome.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Travis?
Well, good things. Ellie, my new husky's in the studio with us today. She's napping behind me.
So good.
And that's exciting. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
A good doggo.
Yeah. And just life has been good. Got a couple records working on this week. That's super exciting. We're working on something from the UK right now. And
Interesting.
just making good music.
Yeah.
Can't beat it.
Yay!
Yes.
Win.
I'm excited because we have a live podcast coming up for CMA Fest. It's our first live event, and it's like almost here.
Yes.
When is that exactly?
June 7th.
Okay.
At Just Love Coffee. Super nervous. I used to cry giving speeches in high school, and I'm from a super small town. My class had 11 kids in it, and I would get up in front of the room and just start crying. So I'm a little nervous that I'm going to get up in front of these people and just start crying. So we'll see how it goes.
You're going to be great.
I'll clap for that.
gonna be awesome.
I'll clap for the live.
Clapping for the crying.
I loved speech class in college.
Did you?
I gave this speech on like why flirting is important and should be promoted in society, and then hit on my professor for part of my speech, and like that was the highest grade I ever got in speech.
Oh my gosh.
Bold move.
It was awesome.
I love it.
That's really good. Okay, well. All right.
What's the next thing?
Thanks, Travis.
Next.
Next thing. Well, Daniel, just tell us a little about yourself and your journey here to Nashville and just your music. Just give us
the rundown.
just the rundown. Yeah, it can be as long or as short as you want it.
Yeah, I was born in Long Beach. California. So I grew up with my mom's a preacher and my dad is retired military, and now he's a drug and alcohol substance abuse rehab supervisor. And so growing up, keep in mind my mom's Korean, and so when I was a little kid, she had only been in the States for probably 4 or 5 years at that point. So for her pop radio wasn't a thing. So she listened to church music and then whatever little toddler music was just in the car, right? But then I'd be in the car with my dad and it was the Stones and the Beach Boys and the Eagles and Elvis. So for me, what's funny is as a little kid, for the longest time I thought contemporary pop music was ZZ Top or the Stones, because that's what it was just in the car all the time.
Could have been a worse situation for you.
Oh, it could have been so much worse. And then living in LA, the local radio station was Radio Disney. So I think
Oh
in
my
first or
gosh.
second grade, I was holy shit, Jesse McCartney's a thing. And the Beautiful Soul came out when I was
Oh
little. I was
my gosh.
I'm that was where I dipped into pop, very quote unquote pop music.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
that's it. This is it. And so
I was into the 18s and Jump 5. And
yeah.
that area.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Just solid
The 18s.
90s pop music.
Their cover of I Can't Help Falling in Love.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I remember I thought that was an
Okay.
18s song. And then I remember in the car one day I'm with my dad, and my dad's what the hell is this? It's because it's ba, da, da. It's this up glam pop, everything's
Super bubblegum.
super verbed out too. And oh my god, my dad was what is this garbage? And then we went home and he showed me what it was
Real.
supposed to be. He's oh, this is cool. And he's it's Elvis. And I'm yeah, cool.
Respect.
Yeah, and then when I was in the middle of 5th grade, it was the week after USC lost to UT in the national championship.
Okay.
We moved to Austin, and I remember I was super bitter. I was I don't want to move to Austin because I was a USC fan. I was I don't want to go to the hell.
Yeah.
I don't want to in SpongeBob, where like SpongeBob and Patrick are making fun of Sandy, like they're making fun of Texas.
Oh, yeah. That's
like,
right.
you know, like that's where I thought we were going because that's all I knew about Texas. I was like,
SpongeBob.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna ride a horse to school. There are tumbleweeds in the road. Like there are cacti. Like that's all that I thought. Like that's all I had in Texas. And then I got to Austin. I was like, all right, this is pretty dope.
Better than we thought.
Right. So like as a little kid, I grew up playing piano and cello classically. Because my mom was like, you need to play an instrument. So, like, I hated piano, like, as all of us do as small children. And then she made me a deal in, like, 3rd grade. She was like, you can quit piano if you learn another instrument. Like, looking back, I'm like, that was actually, like, a pretty smooth, like...
It's a good deal. That's kind of how I started, too, ironically.
Yeah, right? Like, what was yours?
Piano first, and then I went to cello, actually, and then trumpet.
I couldn't do the trumpet thing. I had asthma when I was a little kid, and like could not do the breath support thing.
Yeah.
I just like couldn't do it.
Thankfully, I never had an issue with it. But piano for a couple of years, like this sucks. It's really hard. I can't do the 2-hand thing. Let's do something else entirely.
Right, like not coordinated enough for sure. And I think I picked cello, like honest to God, because I saw Yo-Yo Ma and like Barney or something, and I was like, that's cool. That'll work. Like that.
Thank you, Barney.
Thank you, Barney. It was that or Sesame Street. It was one of those two. Like I know it was one of those two.
SpongeBob and
Thank
Barney
you.
So far.
Yeah, thank you, public television. Well done. So we moved to Austin, and I started playing the guitar. And actually, like the reason I started playing guitar is like the most Texas reason like ever, because like dad being retired military, like in California, you can't get guns. Like you can, but it's like real difficult, right? And like there's all these hoops you have to jump through. And in Texas, it's like if you like pass your checks and everything, like you can buy like shotguns and
it's a little
rifles.
easier.
Yeah, and so like my dad, like being as comfortable he was around guns, like we had like a couple deer rifles and shotguns. We'd go like shoot, like skeet, and it was great. And like after we got like 2 shotguns in the house, my mom was like, no more guns. No more guns. Which like I understand.
Yeah.
But what was funny was like, here's 11-year-old me, 12-year-old me, with like $200-$300 saved up, because like I thought I was getting a shotgun, right? And my mom's like, no more guns. And so I'm like, what the hell do I do with this money, right? Because like,
what else do you do as like a 12-year-old boy?
What do you like? Do I spend it all on bubble gum? Like, what do you want me to do with this? Like, I already had an Xbox. Like, I had everything I could really need as like a middle class child, right? And so, this is so shameful. Like, Camp Rock had just come out.
Oh my god!
You know, like as much as I would really love to claim that it's like, I found Stevie Ray Vaughan. Like, I already knew who Stevie Ray Vaughan was. Like, that already clicked. But it was like it was a very past tense thing.
Yeah.
But like Camp Rock comes out.
And you're like,
and Nick Jonas is playing this Red Gibson SG. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I want to do that.
Yeah, I may have had similar thoughts once upon a time.
You know, like Kevin Jonas is playing like this Black Beauty, like Les Paul Custom. I'm like, that's freaking awesome. And the girls love them because they're playing guitar. And I'm like, that's it.
That's what I want to do.
Sold. Yeah. Started playing guitar, and then like played all through middle school and high school, and like almost got kicked out of my senior year of high school because I was like skipping all the time to like go play guitar / like go do hood rat shit / like I worked at a guitar shop my senior year of high school, and so it was like, do I want to go like see everybody work on Billy Gibbons Les Paul, or do I want to sit and pre-cal for seniors, because I was so bad at math that I literally took pre-calculus for seniors. That's what the class is called.
I would have been in that class right there with you.
Dude, I was like in the back row napping. I was like, I'm going to leave now. So yeah, and then I moved to Nashville, came here to go to Belmont, and been playing and writing songs. And
were you a songwriting major?
No. Funny story, I didn't get into the songwriting program.
Awesome.
But I got into the songwriting program at USC.
Okay.
And then I got into Berkeley as a guitar major, so I actually came to Belmont as a voice major.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Did you just know you wanted to be in Nashville?
Yeah, I wanted to be here because I was like, I've already, in my head, like 17-year-old me was like, I've already lived in LA, right? Mm-hmm. And I guess part of me was like, well, LA's boring. And looking back, I'm like, you dumbass. But, and then I was like, Boston is cold. I know that. I know that Berkeley is cold, and I don't want to be over there.
Yeah.
So, I ended up here. And I've been writing songs and doing the Nashville thing ever since.
Doing your thing. You're going to have an album.
Yes. Yeah, we're working on a record. It's me and Will Stone and Jess Grant. They're two of my best friends here in town. Jess is like this guitar god wizard. Like, I watch him play guitar, and I know what I'm doing with the guitar, and sometimes I see what he's doing, like, I don't know what that is. Wow. Like, he can be in front of me, like, I don't know what just happened. And can't replicate it, can't. He's awesome. And he's, like, a big, like, hip-hop nerd, too. So it's funny, like, production, he'll, like, bring in, like, these random, like, synth samples or, like, bass drum samples. I'm like, what is that? It's really just like an NWA record that I never listened to or something. But it's like in my head, I'm like, this is the coolest thing,
awesome.
You know. And then Will is like a super, like, he's like, it's funny. We all come from this place of, like, we all loved Reliant K, The Strokes, and Paramore at different times, and you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
Like, you can, it's like kind of obvious, but it's in this like songwriter country vein. And his brain is really cool just for production and like sounds and what I love about both of them is they're very much like the first one to say too many words, too fast, too loud, and they're both like, Daniel, shut the hell up. I'm like, got it, check, yes, I'm gonna be over here now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How would you describe your sound?
Oh, that question is like so hard.
Difficult.
Yeah, not because it's like I can explain what guitars we want to use and all that all day, but like at the end of the day, like for me, all the production, it's like, and it's like a very obvious answer, and I'm gonna say, and Travis gonna be like, well, no shit, but like it's about like how it feels, but literally like I want that sound to feel like I'm kind of sitting in like a warm blanket. Like I want
it just came out of the dryer.
Yeah, which doesn't have to mean like the Beach Boys, or not Beach Boys rather, but like the Beatles, like Let It Be wall of sound. Like I don't mean that. Like I think Laurie McKenna and like her very acoustic, like Dave Cobb produced albums, like that feels warm and like happy and safe.
Yeah.
And like safe, not in like a, it's not difficult, but like I'm happy. Like I feel like I'm sitting on my couch drinking bourbon by the fire and like feeling good. You know?
Sitting all the right vibes for sure.
Right. Like it's, for me, it's about hitting that space. Like I think like a Jason Isbell record where he's like ripping his slide solo can feel the same way, but it's like I wanted to put me in that like spot. So sound wise, like sonically, it probably sounds like Jason Isbell meets like Noah Gunderson meets John Mayer, because if we're all being completely honest, like we all rip off of him. We just don't admit it because it's like assumed. Yeah. Right.
Just everybody's pulling a little bit from John Mayer.
Or like a lot of it, like, you know?
Yeah, I think you should pull off his new music video.
Just copy Continuum.
Oh my God.
Yes, that's what I think. That's I think where all the influences should come from, is that new music video.
Like the little things in that video, they're funny as shit. Like at the end of it might be the beginning, I didn't notice, but at the end where like it says like blah, blah, blah featuring John Mayer, and like Mayer is spelled like Mayor of Nashville. Like it's not.
I didn't notice that the first time.
Yeah, it's not ER, it's OR, and I'm like, it's the
little things.
It's the little things where I'm like, you're so weird, but I love it.
But it works.
It was one of the most ingenious. It was like one of the most ingenious videos I've seen in a while since like the OK Go stuff, which is really exciting and interesting. But this is like a whole different type of weird, unique, crazy, but still.
And what's funny is like even in his like weird, like what the hell are you doing? There are portions of the video where it's like actually very choreographed.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like very like on time, and like lyrically, like what he's doing, like dancing when he's being dumb, is still like in line with the lyric. And I was like, oh,
he put some thought into that. Like it's clear, like you made you believe like it's just like a throwaway kind of a thing, but he was thinking about what he was doing.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Well, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, you want to play us a song? Kick it off?
Yeah. This one is called When I Get Around to Getting Over You. And I actually wrote it with, it's me and my buddy Will Stone. And it was just one of those things where I was like, I want one of those breakup songs where it's not like I hate you, but it's like what the hell am I going to do when I actually reach the point of like, I'm going to move on, right? Because I think like everyone has one of those songs, but I didn't. And I was like,
You needed one.
I need one that's like kind of weird. That's what I wanted, and so we.
I'll probably like it. I like sad.
Yeah,
songs.
we wrote this guy. Right side of the sink drains just fine now. Backsplash that you hated's all tile now. The front door's gone from red to white to red again. Cleaned out the garage, fits 2 cars now. And that old jewelry box holds cigars now. I'm more than halfway through that list of honeydews. When I get around to getting over you, I have one hand on the Bible and one hand on the booze. I'll pray to Jesus and Jack Daniels to see who pulls me through. When I get around to getting over you. I've read every book you forgot to take. Mice and Men, some Hemingway, A Vegan's Guide to Cake. There's a little bit of you in every single page. There's a whole lot of truth I'm gonna have to face when I get around to getting old. I have one hand on the Bible and one hand on the booze. I'll pray to Jesus and Jack Daniels to see who pulls me through. When I get around to getting over you. Threw away the candles on the nightstand. It's the first part of a 5-foot-something blue-eyed 12-step program. I'll be fixing pipes and changing lights till there ain't a damn thing left for me to do but get around to getting over you.
Nice.
Thank you.
It's a great sounding guitar. I know it's kind of random, but it's just beautiful, beautiful.
Thanks. It's this is actually my girlfriend's guitar.
Oh wow.
I play a Gibson J185.
It is a very sparkly, blinged out.
Right.
Yeah,
like
cool. That's awesome. That
yeah,
it's super blingy, but
the capo is like it's a Thalia capo. She's like one of their sponsored artists, and so she has a couple of these. And Lauren, she plays these 2 callings and has these capos, and it's really funny because Lauren is 5 feet tall, and this like tiny little adorable human. And it makes sense that she plays like a single low-sized calling.
Yeah, like a parlor.
It's so small. Like I play a big-ass Gibson Jumbo. And so I actually have a really hard time with this sometimes because I'm used to like reaching around my guitar, and this is like a ukulele. And it sounds so good.
Yeah. They sound really good.
And my Gibson is getting the pickup replaced in it right now, so it's like just living at Carter. But like this is...
It's a good choice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awkward pause.
Awkward pause.
It's cool. We're working our way through
I'm
it.
Courtney today. It's weird without her.
I'm not Courtney, guys. I'm sorry.
I don't really know, how to do this now.
Well, we could...
It's not terrible. We're doing good. We can do the Courtney cast.
We could do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so usually each week, Courtney catches us up on celebrity gossip.
I like it. I like celebrity gossip.
She's a big Instagram scroller.
Okay.
And she loves just creeping on people like that. So she used to tell me every day what was going on in the Instagram world. Mm-hmm. So we now save it for once a week when we record a podcast.
Yes.
So I don't have to hear it every day.
Every day.
It's
It
like
was literally probably like 5 times a day.
Oh
and
my
I'm like,
goodness.
just save it and surprise me and we'll get my reaction on the podcast.
yeah. So now it's like
Good thinking.
more
So, yeah, so we
palatable as you. Yeah.
So I did it this week, trying to make her proud. Here we go. So it was Memorial Day weekend, and do you know Bobby Bones?
Yeah.
Well, Bobby Bones had a party, and guess who was there?
Lindsay L.
His ex-girlfriend, Lindsay L.
Hey!
So Lindsay L was in attendance. They broke up.
Uh-huh.
Who knows how the relationship is now? Also, there was Amy, his co-host, Walker Hayes, and his 27 kids.
Right.
And
Oh, that man is so good.
he is so good.
So good.
So I was a big Walker Hayes fan when he put out his mixtapes and for free when he could download them off his website.
Yes.
Yeah,
the 8-track mixtapes.
Yep, and then he came out and everyone fell in love with him. He took those down, but he just re-released those a few months ago.
Oh, hell yes.
So good. So there's my first thing. Next is Chase Bryant. You guys remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
He's still pretty contemporary. I won't bash him like that.
Dang it. Well, he hasn't put out any new music in quite some time.
In a second, yeah.
Yeah, and he posted on Instagram the other day that he hasn't because he felt like he was recording music to fit in and to just, get radio hits.
Sure.
So he's been in the studio. He should have everything mixed by the end of this week, and he should have new music for all of his fans soon.
Sweet.
So he's okay. He's coming out with new music. Don't worry, Chase Bryant fans. Also, Kelsey Ballerini, married to Morgan Evans.
Yes.
We're in Hawaii. He was in the ocean, lost his wedding ring this weekend.
Oh, no. That's the worst.
Yep. So they haven't been married for that long. He already lost his ring. I'm sure they have it replaced. But that happened. And my last thing, Chris Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Looking good on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
He posted this post trying to be a Wrangler
Yeah.
sponsor.
Yeah.
He could pull it off.
Yeah, is he looking pretty fit?
Looking pretty fit, with his Hydroxycut endorsement as well. He's just killing it. Killing it on the gram. And that's my Courtney cast, and I'm not Courtney, I'm Jenna.
Thanks for the clarification.
To be fair, it's easy for us because we can see her.
Yeah.
But in podcast world,
they may never know.
I don't know what Courtney's voice sounds like. They might be,
Mine's a little off
we
this
could be
week,
totally lying who we are.
so they could totally think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the Courtney cast, and
Amazing.
my cough dropped back in my mouth.
By the way, did everyone have a good Memorial Day weekend?
Dude, I worked all weekend.
Did you?
I worked all week. That's all I did.
I worked. I didn't do much.
I actually thankfully did not work. I
Yeah,
took some
took
time
some
off
off.
and just hung out and enjoyed the day, and yeah, it was good. It was rainy, but oh well.
Yeah, it was raining, but it wasn't terrible.
Anyway.
Yeah, cool. Cool.
Well, gosh, I'm trying to fill something with things.
Yeah, just tell us
Actually,
more.
wait. Back to Chris Lane's Hydroxycut. Have you ever taken Hydroxycut?
Yes, I have. In high
Holy
school.
shit! It makes. Also, I don't know if we're supposed to swear on this, but
Confession, I've taken Hydroxycut before.
oh my god, I've taken it too, and I took it. I was like, I want to die right now. What? It's
What
imagine,
is it really?
imagine taking 12 shots of espresso and
Yeah.
then having to
God.
function.
Pretty much. And you're supposed to take 3 a day or 2 a day.
Oh my
This is
God.
take with meals. And there's Hydroxycut Max.
Oh my god.
Me and my best friend in
ridiculous.
high school, she couldn't fit in her prom dress. I could fit in mine. And so we teamed up together and bought a bottle of Hydroxycut together and then took
Yeah.
it together at school.
Oh my god.
And this is before I ever drank coffee or had any caffeine in my
And so
life.
your body's your body doesn't know how to use the
It can't
caffeine.
process it. It doesn't know what to do.
It's pre-workout times 80.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Because it's not useful.
No, not at
It's
all.
just
you're just miserable and you're shaky.
you're shaky and you're tunnel vision and you want to start a fight, but you're too weak to do it because your body has been zapped of everything.
Wow. I don't drink coffee because that caffeine alone makes me do just what you described.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. I'd probably lose my mind.
So bad.
Yeah, you would.
Be on a trip or something. Who knows?
Yeah, that's an endorsement I wouldn't take.
No, thank you.
Sorry, we're going to decline your
Good.
sponsorship.
I would take a sponsorship from Oreos before I took that Hydroxycut.
Easy.
Knowing that my aesthetic would not be as good as an artist if I was rocking Oreos all the time instead of Hydroxycut, but it's Oreos.
But think about you just throw Oreos to your fans, they would love you for it. It'd be
You
fantastic.
could do some really cool promo pics with Oreos.
See, we're making a whole brand for you right here.
Have you guys ever done that thing where you put an Oreo in your head and try to get it in your mouth without using your hands?
No, but you damn sure. I'm gonna do
That
that
would be
tonight.
a fun podcast game just to
You put
do.
it on your head and you see who can get the Oreo in their mouth and eat it first. So you do it as a challenge.
I'm gonna do that tonight.
Okay,
Yeah,
do it tonight. Go buy some Oreos.
Put it on your Instagram story or
Try it
something.
out.
Yes. Yes.
Go live. Well, here's a question for you. What do you like to write about song-wise? You talked about this record that's coming out. Kind of what's going into this record, and what kind of point you are as an artist, or what point are you at as an artist in terms of your writing style, and what What are the things you're talking about in the music recently?
I like that question. There's like room to actually answer that question. I feel like a lot of times people talk to you like, so what do you do? I'm like, what the hell do you want me to say to that?
Like, are you excited about an album? No shit, you're excited.
And I'm like, no.
No, really not excited about this record.
I'm not excited. I just made it for no
My
reason.
engineer is pissed because I want him to overdub everything. You know? No. So the record is called Drunk, High, and Happy.
Oh, cool.
And for me, like I'm really close with my family, and I'm like the first one to like overshare with like personal things, like family life things and relationship and whatever, because like I think that like talking about it and communicating, like it brings people closer together because there's not that like wall.
Yeah.
Right. And as an artist, I feel like it's my job even more so to like let you see in as a listener, because like my favorite artists, like they take that wall down because I'm like, oh, you're a human too. Mm-hmm. Right? Like for me in high school, like I knew that I wanted to be a songwriter when I was like 15, and I heard Yesterday by the Beatles.
Yeah.
And I was like going through some like high school breakup. And I was like, the sky is falling and the world's ending. And I'm like total like 2 a.m. in my room, lights off, like listening to music, like crying probably because I'm emotional. But I heard Yesterday, and you know, it's like, what, 40, at that point, it's like 40, 50 years removed from the original recording. But like it connected. You know, like, and if you think about it, like Yesterday was written when Paul McCartney was at like the top of the world, basically a god, right? Like in the context of pop culture, was at the top of it, and he was able to convey like hurt and longing, where it transferred and connected 50 years later.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's crazy.
Right, like that's awesome, you know? And so for me, it's about like taking little moments, like little phrases or little memories, and expanding them for 3 minutes so that you can kind of like sit in the living room and see it happen.
Sure.
I love that.
You know, like when I get around to Getting Over You, it's one of those like you can kind of see the guy sitting there like getting hammered and being like, I should probably go to church. Right, but he's drinking instead.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like I have a song that we're putting on the record that I wrote with Will and Robin Collins called End of Forever. And it's like you're talking to the person you're in love with, and you're like, I can see myself at the end of forever with you. Like, that's not scary. And as writers and as creatives, like the idea of telling someone that you love them and emoting at that level is like pretty natural for us because we're like emotional beings usually. But for like people that aren't creative, like that thought is terrifying, right? Like that's why people dedicate songs on the radio because they can't because they can't say it. And that's not like I'm not making fun. That's the truth of it. Like, that's why people dedicate, or like they have like, we have our song, right?
Sure.
Because it's like conveying those emotions that people that aren't overly emotional like can't.
Or just don't know how to express it too. Like they've never been taught how to dig in internally like that and look inward and start, you know, conveying the things that they are feeling. So you have to look for like associations.
Right. You know, and like I want to be able to do that, whether it's love songs or like the top track off the record it's called I Don't Want to Go Back to Texas. And like,
don't tell Jenna that.
Well, no, we like she's heard it.
I love Texas.
And like I love Texas. Like I do. I love Texas. I think it's the greatest country on the planet. And I mean what I just said.
America.
You know?
I had a kolache for the first time ever today.
Wait, a what?
A kolache.
You never had one?
I never had a kolache.
Are you from Texas?
No, I'm from Illinois.
Guys, I don't even know what a kolache is.
Oh my god.
So Ben explained to us what a kolache was, Ben Danaher, when he was on.
Okay.
But I still don't really know what it is, so if you want to explain.
It's like a pig in a blanket.
Oh, okay.
But better.
Texas-sized.
Yes.
Right.
And,
Okay.
And there's some with fruit.
Yeah, but like
I had one of the pig in the blanket ones today.
you don't want the one with the fruit.
Felt like it was more
It's a
Texas.
meat and bread type thing, just a lot of it.
It's so good.
Is there a lot of different meats in it, or is it like a pork?
It's usually just like sausage.
Okay,
Right? Like
sure.
wrapped in like a big ass croissant essentially. And then like back home a lot of people do it with like cheddar and jalapenos in
See,
there.
that sounds
Ooh, I like
amazing.
jalapenos a lot.
It's so good. Like it's so good.
Wow.
There was a joint like down the street from my high school. It was a donut shop, but they did fresh baked kolaches every morning. And like senior year, like everyone was late, and everyone was either at the taco shack, getting tacos, or we were getting kolaches down the street. And like you could 10 minutes before first bell, that's where everyone was. Wow. Everyone was late.
Because they're eating kolaches and tacos. Very Texan.
And then we walk into our first class and everyone has food. Like, it was awesome. It was great. But yeah, like super Texan.
Or he would just walk to the guitar shop instead of
Yeah,
class.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was... Yeah.
I would do the same thing. Anyway.
You want to play another song?
Yeah, let's... I'll play End of Forever. This is actually going back to... my girlfriend, her name's Lauren Weintraub. She's actually an artist, and this is why I have her guitar. Artist and a writer. Fun fact, I think she's going to be on America's Got Talent tonight.
Oh, really?
I think her episode is airing tonight. So I'm leaving here after this and going to that.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, and so this whole idea kind of stemmed from she's like a super redhead, right? Like I have... like her hair is on the shirt. Like I'm wearing a black shirt right now, and it's just you can see it all the time.
Relatable. My girlfriend's also a redhead. I know exactly what you're like.
Yeah, you get it right. And so like I had this line. I had the title, which was originally called "Edge of Forever," and then Robin, I love her to death. She was like, "Edge of Forever sounds like you're gonna think about marriage and run away." And I was like,
"You're on the edge."
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, but like that's not the point." She's like, "That's what it sounds like."
Kind of like Edge of 17, the same kind of concept.
Right. And I was like, "Okay, never mind." But I had this line that was, "There's strawberry silk strands on the pillowcase. Like, how do we romanticize like your hair is everywhere, right?" Because it's
no
a very
guy enjoys having their girlfriend's hair all over.
I mean, like, I think it's cute, especially when she's like gone for long amounts of time.
Like, keep finding it
like
everywhere.
I'll pull out, I'll pull
sure.
out like a black sweatshirt. I'm like, yep, she's here.
All over.
So yeah, this is called End of Forever. There's strawberry silk strands on the pillowcase. Lipstick I love yous on the bathroom mirror. You don't gotta change your name just yet. How about you get your mail sent here? Cheap bourbon in the bottom of 2 coffee cups. Paper napkins from the takeout we called in. When I look at all the evidence, I can't help but be convinced. I know it sounds crazy, be damned if it ain't true. I'll chase this feeling to the end of forever with you. Just one more kiss and I'm calling out of work again. I got $20 for a Tuesday matinee. It don't matter what we do, if it starts and ends with you and me. That's my perfect day. I know it sounds crazy, be damned if it ain't true. I'll chase this feeling to the end of forever with you. With you. When I call you baby, I swear I can see you right there standing the edge of forever with me. I know it sounds crazy, I'll be damned if it ain't true. I'll chase this feeling to the end of forever with you. I'll chase this feeling to the end of forever with you.
Nice.
How did your girlfriend react when you played her that song?
Tears, like little tears. Yeah, that one went over well.
Yeah.
I really like that song. It's a beautiful song.
Thank you.
It is very just like calming and like just your voice and everything.
Thanks. We got done with it, and like every once in a while, like in rides, you get done with things, and you're like there are rides where you're like, yeah, that was great, cool, see you in 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, and then but that one we're like Will does tracks and stuff all the time, and Will's like, okay, you guys go, I'm gonna do this shit like right now. Like he was like, I'm gonna do this right now.
Just because of like the moment was feeling good.
It felt good.
Want to keep going down that road.
And also, what was funny? It's funny that I wrote this with him because I had this riff. Like that, I had like made up for a song that Will and I started like 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
And like, we only finished half the song, and it was like a garbage pile. Like the song sucked. But I've always kind of played that riff as like...
It's got a great flow to it.
I use it as like a litmus test on like guitars.
Yeah, oh, sure.
On acoustics. I'm like, how does this... Because it really spans the whole range as far as like high to low.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always just kind of used it as like, I pick up a guitar and that's what I play. And I guess in that room that day, I was like, this feels like a love song riff. Like, that's what it's supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
And so it just ended up in here, and I'm really glad it did, because, like, I love it. And my big thing is I love songs where if you play them with just your guitar, like, there's something happening other than, like...
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, just because, like, as a guitar player, I'm like, I'm kind of bored. Right? Like,
sure.
And this is kind of what we were talking about earlier with, like, you know, if a writer's round lasts 3 hours and everyone is doing, like...
The same thing.
Like, like, after a while, it's the same, and you crave that change. You crave something else. And
And you recognize that immediately when somebody does something different. It's like,
right,
whoa,
like,
you perk up, and, like, this is new and different.
And it's just about, like... selfishly, like, doing something that's cool for me, but also, like, accommodating the listener in the space of, like, if it is a bunch of writers, like, oh, this is new.
Mm-hmm.
This is new. It's different. But, yeah.
Something kind of for me personally, going kind of what you're saying, you know, you can write a song and just play 3 or 4 chords, you know, over and over again, you know, and just strum it down. But I think being able to write lyrics and then write a beautiful melody like that on the guitar and to kind of have those intertwined with the melody of the vocal and so on, it kind of just brings you into a whole different part of the song that you really don't hear probably in the full production version. It's a different form, but it still is as impactful and takes you to the same place, but in a maybe more of a direct way.
Yeah.
A less distracted way. Perhaps.
Yeah, like, it feels like some of my favorite artists really... like, they incorporate that. Like, the acoustic guitar is not just a percussive aspect anymore. It's another voice. Like, like Isbell is, like, real good at that. All the Jason Isbell stuff. Or, like, John Moreland always has, like, a really cool little tied-in acoustic parts that'll be, like, mimicked by a xylophone. It's weird as hell, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
Or, like, John Paul White from the Civil War.
Yeah.
It's, like, the master of it.
I actually got to work with John Paul White a couple years ago. And being with him on a daily basis... and seeing him warm up for shows, do his show day in and day out, and get to know him as an individual, he just, what's the word I'm trying? That's just all he is. Yeah. It's just songs and riffs, and it all works perfectly. It's amazing.
I think, like, people really undersell how difficult that is.
Oh, my gosh.
Because, like, one, when you're in a room writing and there is such, like, an intricate riff like that, it's really distracting. Because you're like, well, I don't want to get in the way of the riff. But at the end of the day, like, the riff doesn't matter. Like, it's serving the song like the lyric is supposed to. But, like, the fact that he, like, in his solo work, too, like, in, I've been over this before, where it's just like,
Yep.
Like, it's just a super simple thing that he's always just bouncing in between, but there's, like, little, like, a...
He throws in the embellishments.
Right. It's hard.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think it adds like this level of effort that comes in like thought and
It's like your full body is in the song at that point. Because not only you're singing it, which is a very kind of spiritual thing for some people, but also then your fingers are playing this instrument that's doing the exact same type of thing, and it becomes,
And I think a lot of artists tend to kind of like ignore that when they're guitar player artists that are piano players. Oh my God. Like it's never ignored because there's no like on a piano, right? Like it's notes. So like Billy Joel, right? Like holy shit. Like it from Piano Man to like Vienna to like She's Always a Woman. Like there's counter melodies and like counter melodies to the counter melodies, and it's like it's so complex. And I love like incorporating a little of that mindset into
making the instrument more complex than it could be.
Right.
It's very cool.
Nerdy things,
Yeah. Yeah, guys.
A little bit of tangent. That was a good little moment.
No, like I love it though. Like I love that. Like I think the guitar is such an incredible like odd instrument.
It is odd.
Like it's not super linear like a piano is. Like you can see everything in front of you, but it's not as straight up as a piano is. And I think people kind of do ignore the fact that like guitars can do like cool, weird, like crazy shit.
Really crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wow.
What else you got there, Jenna?
Awesome. Do you want to play us one more song?
Yeah. I'll play this one because this is per your request.
A song about Texas.
About Texas.
No, when I heard you play this, I was actually working at the listening room that night.
Oh yeah.
And I was working, and honestly, it was the one song of the night that got like the most fan response.
Yeah.
From like the tape, like people who were actually there listening.
Cool.
And it's like one of those where you like kind of stop and you're like, whoa, did everyone just really react that much? Like, because they hadn't reacted that much all night, where it was one of those where you're like, he did something, like something about this.
Well, cool, thanks.
And I love Texas.
I love Texas. And actually I wrote this with Olivia Redine, and it was like, so I was on American Idol this season. That's how I know Carly. That was also
Carly
on
Moffa, shout out.
And like I got my golden ticket. I went to Hollywood. I did the whole thing. It was awesome. Like it was really, really cool. Like I have nothing bad to say about the experience. Like it was great. And like I met some of the greatest people. And the thing is, like I got kicked off of the show in like at the end of the first week of February. Right. Mm-hmm. Like, so, like, I was off the shit. Like, I knew.
Right. But no one else knew.
For like a long time, 6 7 months probably.
For like a couple months. And then it, like, Idol airs.
And everyone thinks.
And then my audition aired. Like, they aired my audition. So, like, everyone I went to middle school and high school with is like, hey, Daniel. I'm like, oh, God. like everyone, everyone's hitting you up because you're, like, on TV, right?
Right.
And then the next week, they show, like, Hollywood Week. And, like, that's where I got cut. And what was funny was, like, my social media went from, like, everyone hitting you up to being like, are you finally gonna quit and move back to Texas and get a real job?
Whoa!
That's where this song stemmed from, was from people being like, are you gonna, like, come back and be a grown-up now, essentially? And I was like, no, thank you.
That's really interesting to hear because obviously we live in Nashville. Our friends are on the show all the time.
Right.
Like it's a regular thing. Like, oh, cool, you're on Idol this season. Awesome.
And then you come back and you
continue working.
Keep going.
Yeah.
It's so I never really put myself in the shoes of like everyone else in the world that's not in the industry. Like thinking like, oh, if you don't make it on Idol, then you don't make it. It's the end.
Like you're obviously not meant to be an artist.
It's interesting that they have that perspective.
Right. And it was like it really clicked to me that I was like, no one gets this back home.
Yeah.
Like everyone at home like kind of thinks it's a joke. Like I am essentially the equivalent of like a SoundCloud rapper. to like no, but like that's what it is. Also, like there's some dope ass SoundCloud rappers. Like I don't mean that as a dick, but like it's like the kid back home where everyone's like, oh, he's trying to be a rapper. It's that. Like that's kind of
like the not good stuff.
Right. Like
this is really bad.
That's what was seen as, and it was like. It was one of those really humbling moments where I was like, even on my best days here, I'm a joke to someone else. Right?
Yeah.
And that's not in like a woe is me, like feel bad for me, but that's just the reality of the situation. Mm-hmm. And so I walked into this right with Olivia like the day after I realized, like it hit me, right? And we walk into the ride. She's like, do you have anything you want to write about today? I was like, yes, I have this title.
Yeah, I got it.
And I was like, I want to write a song called I Don't Want to Go Back to Texas. And she thought I was kidding because, like, she knows how much I love Texas.
Yeah.
And then she looked at me, she's like, oh, you were serious. And I was like, yeah,
You don't want to go back.
I don't want to go back.
Well, funny. Well, this isn't funny, but after you played this song, I actually talked to that ex-boyfriend, and he's from Texas, and he's a writer in town. And he, like, kind of not fell off. He just kind of, like, went through a bump in his career recently, and he's like, I almost moved back to Texas.
Right.
But I didn't. Like, I'm still here. Like, I almost went back, but I didn't want to go back to Texas.
Right.
And I was like, whoa, you got to hear this song.
Well, because it's one of those things, like I said earlier, my mom's a preacher. And, like, all I could see, like, I've had nightmares about this. Like, all I can see is me, like, moving back to Texas and sitting in church and, like, hearing people behind me whisper, be like, oh, is that him? Oh, my God. He quit. Like, is that why he's home? Because he quit? Because he wasn't good enough? And I'm like, I've legitimately, like, woken up in the middle of the night and been like, I need to go for a run because I'm not. Like, because it's just, you're like, holy shit, I'm not good enough. And that's like, oh, that's such a bad feeling, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we wrote this. And, the price of gas is cheaper. The green is always greener. It's hot as hell. We don't mind. The barbecue is better, and V8s still have headers. And I swear to God, kids still play outside. And every how y'all been is bona fide. But I don't want to go back to Texas, tail between my legs. Navigate the told you so's, and you tried anyways. I don't want to be Sunday gossip, the lone star that burned out, a cautionary tale they'll sit and laugh about. No, I don't want to see all my exes. I don't want to go back to Texas. Maybe when I've made it, my pride's been satiated, I'll pack it up and go back home. But I got things to do, a whole lot left to prove. FM dreams that won't let me alone. But I don't want to go back to Texas, tail between my legs, to navigate the told you so's, and you tried anyways. I don't want to be Sunday gossip, a lone star that burned out, a cautionary tale they'll sit and laugh about. No, I don't want to see all my exes married now and pregnant. I don't want to go back to Texas. Ooh. The sky is always bigger, and Willie's still got trigger, and all of me misses it like hell. But I don't want to go back to Texas, tail between my legs, to navigate the told you so's, and you tried anyways. I don't want to be Sunday gossip, a lone star that burned out, a cautionary tale they'll sit and laugh about. No, I don't want to see all my exes married now and pregnant. Don't want to give them what they expected. I don't want to go back to Texas.
Well, where are we at, Jenna?
Texas. I think we're almost to the end here.
Amazing.
We're at the end.
What
That was a
you
great
got?
song, man. It was
I
really
love
good.
Thank you.
Also, when you sang it, I thought like for me, it's like I don't want to go back to Texas, and like not the state, but like my ex-boyfriend who's from Texas.
So that's what it means to you. That's
It's
what
like
you
I
call
don't want to
it.
go back to Texas.
Yeah, but like that's it though. Like you take it a different way. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's the point. Like it's leaving it just broad enough to where like you can insert yourself in the song.
Right.
You said something else earlier. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
About how music and just having the conversation about the stories just opens up doors for people to express themselves in other ways and just interpret things in other ways that even you said, and that's a perfect instance. It just, music has always been the greatest, remover of walls for so many people. And I think that's just what continues, at least for me, why I continue to work in this industry and continue to just to love on music and to get to know artists and people that are working on music, because it's just the biggest connector of people I've ever seen and witnessed. And I just think there's something super special about that. And, it's important to me to continue to tell people like, hey, you should listen to the song because it does this and it makes me feel good.
Right.
Yeah.
And so on. So,
It's like, have y'all read Big Magic?
No.
So is it Elizabeth Gilbert? Is that the author on? I think that's
look it
it.
up.
She wrote Eat, Pray, Love.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I think it's Elizabeth Gilbert. Fact check me before I continue.
Travis is searching right now.
I'm going as fast as I can. Let's see. Elizabeth Gilbert. Yep.
There it
Yep.
is. So, like, she actually has a comment in Big Magic, which, like, as creative people, y'all should read it. Like, it's one of the most inspiring.
Okay.
It's like,
Sure.
it's one of those things where the whole book is kind of a lot of, like, it's okay to screw up because we've all done it.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
it feels good coming from, like, someone that's, like, tenured and has had
Yeah.
that. Like, it feels good when someone... Like when a Craig Wiseman can be like, "Oh, it's okay to fall on your face. I do it all the time." Like, cool,
Cool story, bro.
There's it feels good. Like
Yeah.
it feels good because again, you get to relate. But she has this line in her book where she's like, someone came up and talked to me about like Eat, Pray, Love in an airport, and she was like, "I love how you like offed the guy in this part because my ex-husband did this and this," and like I'm like very loosely quoting this, but basically this woman like gives us an interpretation of a scene.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth is like, that was nowhere in my book.
Oh,
Like-
weird.
It was nowhere in my book. But this woman, like, inserted herself and felt connected to the story enough that she related in, like, this different way. And
Yeah.
that's so cool. Like,
That's
what
really
you just
cool,
said with,
yeah.
I don't want to go back to Texas.
Yeah.
It's a totally different thing.
Totally different.
But you connect.
And I felt like the same, like, yeah.
Right. And
from
like,
it.
That's it. Like, music, art, like, whatever medium of art. But, like, we get to do that as artists, as creators. And, like, that's so cool,
I love it. Cool. All right.
Cool. Well,
Are we signing off?
we're signing off. Where can people follow you? When can they expect your new music? Do you know?
I think for as far as release, we're shooting for like August, September, somewhere in there. Like I think new album is like a birthday present to me. Could be kind of interesting, and like kind of fun. As far as social media goes, it's just I think it's Daniel Ethridge on everything. On Twitter, it's Ethridge Daniel because there's like a Christian artist that has the same name, and I'm like, oh, we are preaching very different messages, but I appreciate it. Shouts out Daniel Ethridge, Christian Land. You're probably promoting a better message than I. But yeah, Daniel Ethridge on Instagram. If you type in my name, I'm sure there's like some obnoxious picture of me in like a denim jacket with skulls on it because it's usually me anyway. Like right now, the back of my jacket.
Yeah.
I just found the jacket you're talking about on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh my
that's
gosh.
it. That's it.
Just like that's classy.
I'm
All right.
like that. You could totally business casual with that in like a total outlaw kind of way.
And they're talking about
Dig it.
shopping
There it
again.
is. But yes,
Anyway.
music, August or September. Daniel Ethridge on pretty much everything social media.
Awesome. And we're inside the noise. And now there is no noise.
It's gone.
Peace and
See ya.
blessings.